Hi and welcome to Run Tall with Tim. I'm Tim and today I'm bringing you the Puma Velocity Nitro. Before I get into it too far, I always like to demonstrate what it looks like to run in these shoes before I review them for you. So let's do that, but then when I return, we're going to take a real close look at the Puma Velocity Nitro.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
If you're new to the channel, I post videos on both Wednesday and Saturday mornings, and it's at 5 a.m. Standard Eastern Time here in the US. If you want to save yourself a little time, I tried to make that easy for you. All you have to do is open the description, and there you're going to see I've created chapters. Just click on a timestamp for the part of the video that you want to watch, and it'll take you right there. Also, I do like to post bonus videos once in a while, but I never know what day of the week that's going to be or even what time. So if you enjoy running shoe reviews and other videos related to running, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time that I do. Now these cost 120 US dollars. They come in at 9.1 ounces for a men's size 9 on my scales, or 258 grams, and that's also their stated weight on their website. So we totally 100% agree on the weight of these shoes. That doesn't always happen. I want to start and just talk about the fit first. For me, they're just a little bit long, but not so much that I would go down a half a size. So I would still order true to size, if I were to purchase these again. And spoiler alert, I would buy these again. I think for that $120, you're getting a really solid, versatile shoe to run in. So let's take a look at the upper. As we zoom in, we can see that it's an engineered mesh upper. I found it to be pretty breathable. It's hard for me to say right now just exactly how breathable it's going to be because the weather is still fairly cool here. So it's about in the mid 40s, and that's 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So everything feels pretty comfortable right now underfoot. So a lot more testing to come with that upper, and I will update you later on in a future video once I log a few more miles on these shoes. But then as we pan around to the side of the shoe, you can see that they have their Puma logo scrolled across that midsection of the shoe. Other than that, not a whole lot else is going on there in terms of plastic overlays. We get around back to the heel counter and they have some structure there, and we'll talk about that more in just a minute. So let's take a look at the eyelet chain. No big wow factor here, but it gets the job done. They've got plastic overlays on the outside as well as some extra material on the inside cage area. And that's just to make them a little bit more durable so that your laces don't rip through or anything along those lines. And I was able to get a nice, secure lockdown feeling across my midfoot with that cage. So I think that they're pretty well spot on in terms of the fit across the midfoot. So let's take a look at the tongue. It is a fully gusseted tongue. I love that fit and feel. You don't have to worry about the tongue migrating around or anything along those lines. It always lays flat on your foot, and this was no exception. That full gusset felt really terrific to run and didn't have any issue with that at all. The tongue is fairly thin, but it has enough padding to keep you comfortable when you're out running. This shoe does, like I mentioned, come in at 9.1 ounces, so you don't want to add any more weight than you have to. Even though that's a pretty respectable weight for a daily trainer, there are some others that are out there that I think fall in the same category that come in a little bit lighter. But, part of the reason that this shoe is slightly heavier is they got some extra padding around the heel collar and tab as well. So let's take a look at that. It's a really traditional padding system that they have here. So it's kind of that pillow style that's right around the heel collar and throughout the tab of the shoe. It does not have necessarily Achilles heel flare. I know that seems to be really popular right now, is that anatomically correct heel flare, but there's a lot of runners that enjoy the more traditional fit. And you're going to find that with the Puma Velocity Nitro is, again, a more traditional fit in that heel counter. Now the heel counter does have, a fair amount of structure. So, if I give it the pinch test this way, that's pretty solid. So it's going to create, a nice feeling in terms of getting locked down in that heel cup area. And it's pretty solid going forward too. It's not overly done like a stability shoe might be, but, it's got plenty there to give you that nice secure feeling in your heel. Now, as we turn and we look at before I move on, it does have a removable insole, and these insoles are pretty thick, so that's kind of nice. It adds a little extra cushion to your run experience. And as I've mentioned probably 100 times before in my videos, it's always so nice to be able to pull those inserts out, wash them, clean them up, put them back in so you're good to go the next time you want to run. I think just hygienically, it's just kind of a nice feature. I've got this big shoe shelf behind me, and that's just a fraction of the shoes that I own. But you can imagine that if I wasn't taking good care of them, that odor might be, a little pungent in this room. Okay, so let's move on, and we'll talk about the midsole of the shoe, and that's really where the excitement is here. And they have their, they call it the Nitro for a reason, because they have a nitrogen infused foam underfoot. And they really have two different kinds of foam here. In the heel, they've got kind of a stiffer foam, but then they have that Nitro foam that's above and then kind of comes down below past that thicker, more dense material that's in the heel. And also notice, as long as we're talking about the heel, they have kind of this plastic piece here as well. And that only comes up so far. It was a really interesting feeling to run in, but but enjoyable. When I was striking the ground, I felt like it gave me a little extra stability when I was going through my gait cycle. So I did enjoy that. Now this foam it is soft, and it's not particularly a tall stack height. It has an 8mm offset from the heel to the toe, but it's highly cushioned. And even though this foam isn't necessarily as tall or as thick, however you want to think about it, as some of the other daily training running shoes that are out there, the cushion level is still there. I found it to be very soft underfoot. When I first started walking in these shoes, it almost felt like walking in a pair of slippers. That's how soft and comfortable they were. And, it's always nice to know, too, I think, when you're walking in a shoe or when you get a running shoe, if they're good to walk in. Not all running shoes are. These ones do feel good to walk in, these shoes. So it's a nice transition just when you're walking from your heel to your toe. It just was soft and smooth, and it's very smooth through my gait cycle when I'm running. And these shoes felt pretty damn terrific at any pace. So if I was going slower or I wanted to pick up the pace, they were right there with me. I didn't feel like I was getting lost in that softer nitrogen-infused foam underfoot at all. It's a really snappy ride. I really enjoy that feeling, and up into forefoot. So I'm a midfoot striker, and so I think this is something that's just worth noting as well. As a midfoot striker, I don't always feel that extra boost that you get in the heel that they put in some of these running shoes today. This shoe does have that, like I mentioned, that part of the heel that has a bit more dense foam that's also very responsive, along with that plate. And as a midfoot striker, I did feel that when I was running. So, I didn't have to get back on my heel, I felt, to get that extra pop going through my gait cycle. And it did feel very springy as it was trying to propel me forward. And that was something that I think that sets this shoe apart from a lot of the other daily trainers that are out there. And this is the one shoe that can do it all, right? So, this is their most versatile, I think, in the Nitro lineup. They have some more specialty shoes. Obviously they've got their carbon-plated racing shoe, and then they've got their highly cushioned, easy run recovery day shoe and so on. But this is that middle shoe, the middle child that can really accomplish a lot of tasks. So, you can log lots of miles on it very comfortably. Doesn't matter what pace you want to go at, you're going to feel pretty comfortable doing that. And if you want to pick up the pace, you can do that as well. So it is definitely one shoe that can do it all. And then as we flip the shoe over, we'll take a look at the outsole. And, this is where some of that extra weight comes in. Now, 9.1 ounces, that's not terrible. But they did add a lot of outsole rubber here, and they have their PUMAGRIP. Now, for me, I was kind of excited, actually, that they did that. I know that that's not going to appeal to every runner that's out there. If you do mostly road work, it's probably a lot more PUMAGRIP on that outsole than you need, to be honest. They're pretty thick lugs with lots of traction. But for me, I often go out to my local state park when I'm training or running. And, it's nice to have a shoe that I can pick up that will help make me feel a little more secure on some of those more rustic trails. And while this isn't a trail shoe, it's kind of rocketing to the top of my shoe rotation for the days that I go out and train out at the state park, because some of the trails I purposely avoid right now because I'm just afraid that there's not enough grip to hold me tight so that I don't have to worry about slipping or falling when I'm out running, because that would be a disaster. I don't want that. So for these, though, I am appreciative of those bigger lugs, a little bit thicker material, and you know what? It's going to be really durable. This shoe's going to last a long time. I can't imagine that PUMAGRIP outsole rubber is going to going to wear down anytime soon. You can see how much of it there is. Pretty aggressive lugs, actually, up in the forefoot of the shoe. I'll try to turn it sideways. Can't get a really good view there. They do have the center of the outsole that's left open, so it does have some exposed foam there. But that's okay. It does give you a little bit of a trampoline effect because, with that groove in the center there, you depress that when you start to run, so you're going to kind of pull out, and then it's going to kind of help pop you forward. It just adds to a little extra oomph in your step when you're out running. I found these shoes to be really comfortable in my transition throughout my gait cycle. I felt like it didn't seem to matter how I was striking the ground in these, whether I was falling back a little bit more on my heel, midfoot, or even up on my forefoot. And I did run on my forefoot quite a bit in that run sequence that you saw there, or during that run, maybe not so much in the sequence that I showed you, but throughout the run that I took these on, I was up on my forefoot quite a bit, and they felt terrific. So for me, I think that Puma did a great job. Puma is back. I have not run in a Puma shoe in years. So, kudos to them. They've done a terrific job in creating at least this shoe. I have not run in the other nitrogen or the Nitro shoe lineup yet. I want to test the waters with what I consider or what I think is probably the most versatile of the bunch, and it's been a really positive experience. So, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed making it for you. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.